Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back again with Eldrazi Ramp on the play for game one. This hand is keepable. We have a lot of hits off the top. We have Temple, we have Lab. Let's go ahead and play Forest, Utopia Sprawl, on red, and pass, and pass. Scalding Tarn. Bauble. So looking like it is going to be Grinding Station, and Jesus Christ. Yeah, sure, that's a thing you can do. That is certainly a thing you can do. Let's see. Well, let's play... You know what we should do? We should play Misty. Play Talisman. Resolve. Fetch Scalding Tarn? Not Scalding Tarn. Fetch for Spell Snare? Spell Pierce? Both. Shock and... Spell Pierce. Yes. Not much I can do there, so I'll pass. Hold up the ability to respond on end step so we can grab a commercial district. I'm surprised they fetched Shock there when Opal was online. They could have just played Spell Pierce then. So I'm a little bit confused there, but we'll fetch for commercial districts. Trigger Temple top, put on top. Do I attempt to resolve Rumble? That's the question. We could... Well, I guess we can go Temple, Myco Spawn. Myco Spawn trigger. Grab another Temple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not too worried about Consign main here, so I don't think we need to grab Cavernous Soul. So I think another Temple is correct. We alternatively could grab Ghost Quarter. Not sure about that. Signum Ugin's interesting. We have two... I guess Signum Ugin might not be a bad idea. Especially if we do resolve this Rumble. Even if we don't, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... It would be okay. Sanctum, if we do end up into an Aragast, would be good. So I think Sanctum actually might not be a bad hit. Because even if we don't hit anything of relevance, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, we'll go Sanctum. Try and set up for, ideally, an explosive next turn. Rumble. Rumble resolves, and we whiff hard. I will grab Stomping Grounds and pass. Not much we can do to interact here. Not worried about anything which we need to sacrifice a spawn for. It's possible that you might just win on turn 3. Yeah, Unholy Heat. So they do have a copy of Unholy Heat we need to pay attention to. I mean, the 4th mana gets them the win. So a land, Grinding Station, Breach, GG's. Emery. Okay, so we're not out of the woods yet. There's Grinding Station. So if they have Breach, next turn they have the win. A little bit of concern. Draw. Command. So we can hold up the command. 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can X6, trigger Sanctum. When we have things available to us, Worldbreaker doesn't guarantee that we can survive. So I think holding the command is correct. The question is whether or not we need to play around the Spell Pierce as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Huh. The next question is whether or not to attempt to get rid of the Emery now. I think we should do it on their turn. Yeah, okay, we'll pass. Because we can get rid of Emery. We can get rid of a lot of their graveyard. Opponent's thinking. Maybe of Cracking Bauble. I mean, if they target Grinding Station, we need to strip Grinding Station out. In response. Forest. Cast. Do we play around the Spell Pierce is the question. I can, once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get rid of 6 cards in Yard, leaving them with just 2. Realistically speaking, I want to get rid of just 3 cards in Yard currently. Getting rid of Emery would also be good. They could fetch or Crack Bauble in response, target it with Emery, and then be able to cast Bauble, I think, still at that point. Do we get rid of Emery is the question. I will... We Scry Draw. We ramp. We get rid of Emery. So many little things. So 1, 2, 3. And the question is, do you play around Spell Pierce? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is very precarious, I feel. Like we can ramp 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Trigger 5, 6. If we go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we'd be at 10. So we'd still be short on the Emrakul. So I think we might just send it and hope that's a 1-0 Spell Pierce. I'm thinking of Scry Drawing here. No, I don't need to get rid of Emery. I mean, I feel like I do, though, because then they can just bobble and try and find more pieces. Screw it. Yeah, we're going to get rid of Emery. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 deep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deep. That will trigger Sanctum. Sanctum trigger. I will 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes. Trigger and grab Emrakul the Promised End. That should leave him with Breach and Bauble. If they have the Grinding Station in hand, then, like, the hell was I supposed to do here? Bauble, target me, sees what's on top. I can't do anything, so send it. Metalcraft is offline, but they can play Bobble again. Yep. Makes sense. Bobbled themselves, so they must have a fetch in hand. Or not. Breach. Okay. 2 triggers. They're going to draw 2 cards. Metalcraft is offline. Draw. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We could save the spawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, we can save the spawn by playing the World Breaker. Or imprinting the World Breaker, rather. They shouldn't be playing main deck Consign. We go to combat. And opponent scoops it up. Alright. Let's go to sideboard. That was close. I think we were very close to losing. We'll cut the returns. And run it back. We'll be on the draw, so we keep the gemstone. And now they move to more of a control game plan with consigns, Tamiyo, and the like. So we do need to be a little bit mindful of how we sequence. Don't want to run into the same trappings as we did yesterday. I mean, I guess the only way they would have had an out there is that they had the second grinding station in hand. But at that point, like, there's nothing we would have been able to do. So I think it was correct just to send it. Especially because Spell Pierce is often a one-of in main. Yeah, I think overall we played that correctly. We played it as efficiently as possible. On the draw for game 2, it's a little bit slow for my liking. Like, it's not bad at a glance. If that temple was a lab, it'd be so much better. Because that'd be a turn 3 Emrakul. Now we could draw into a Utopia Sprawl. Okay, so what could we hit off the top that makes this hand better? Utopia Sprawl, Lab. So that there alone is 8 hits. Yeah, I'll keep it. Think there's enough here that we can work with. It's dicey, don't get me wrong. Like, a spell snare absolutely bricks us. Consign as well. Draw. Well, I will go with Temple and pass. Rainforest. Hedge Maze. Surveil Trigger. Keeps it on top. And pass. Bolt in the Springs and pass. Opal. Emery. Consign, Breach, Tamiyo. Okay, those were good hits for me, not for them. Opal's offline, so we can freely cast Impulse here. So Stomping Grounds, Shock, Impulse, pass. Okay, this is looking promising. One, two, three. We're going to be short, though. Rumble. Ooh, that's an ugly 4 for me. Let's see, Grind Station and Breach, because they take the Breach, leave the Grinding Station in Yard. They can bring it back with Emery. Yeah. That's no bueno. That is no bueno. So Opal's still offline, though. But they can bring back Station now. If they don't do anything, if Station stays in Yard and they don't have a consign, we can grab a Bajuka Bog. I think that's my saving grace. 2, 3, 4. Let's see. A Spell Pierce, so if I were to try and play the Talisman, a Spell Pierce would absolutely be abysmal. So would a Spell Snare, because we'd pay 2, be left with 3, so we can't do that reasonably. So I'll play the Verdant Catacomb. And we're going to try and resolve Sowing Mycospawn. Do you have a consign? If you don't, we Bajuka Bog. Shoot. Yeah, they do have a consign. I think they win here then. Stomping Grounds. Confusion. Nature's Claim? What's happening? Bajuka Bog? Bajuka Bog target you? So no more Breach, no more Grinding Stations, so we're not dead on board now. Do they have Unholy Heat? Was that what's happening? I think that's what was happening. They must have Unholy Heat in hand. That'd be my only thought. Oh no, so they do have the Nature's Claim. It wouldn't have mattered, but okay. So I'll put a pause on end step. We're no longer dead on board. Amber. Fetch with Verdant Catacombs for Commercial District. Trigger. Sprawl is mana neutral. We can keep it. Otherwise, we can put it into Grave, and it actually reduces Emrakul's cost by 1. Do we need to do that? Is the question. We can go Forest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Emerge. And then we'll have 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we don't need to do that. We can just mana neutral to Sprawl for ramp, which I think is correct. So I'll put that on top. Let's play the Forest. The only downside I see of casting this actually would be if it gets countered, we'd be down 2, but really only down 1. I'd have to actually spend mana from the Forest, not the red sources. Because 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it'd be 5, 6. Okay, I think we would be fine. So let's Sprawl on District for red. Go to combat. Attack. No blocks. There's 1 unknown in hand. So 2, 3... Actually, we can go No, I don't think I can cast the Talisman, can I? Because then we'd be short. So we'll sacrifice the Sowing Microspawn. Double red. Colorless. Colorless. Airgas trigger. Do you have a consign? I will not. I'll resolve. 3 types in yard. The Talisman, we could play the Talisman, but doing so leaves us open to a Spell Snare or Spell Pierce. Sacrifice Airgast. Pay 1. Does Emrakul close it out? No shot. Not again. Not like this. Oh my word. Like, why let the Airgast resolve then? I don't, like, maybe they expect the Emrakul? I just don't get it. Maybe they're holding the consign so they could counter the breach trigger. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's fine. So next turn we can play the World Breaker. I don't get it. The second time you've been blown out by a consign like that. Like, yeah, it would have been a 2-turn clock with Airgast on board. But, like, alternatively, I would have had a 1-turn clock with Emrakul. Another Airgast. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can't do that now. Next turn, maybe, though. Especially as we're not going to have much in hand. What do we go after here? They have Breach in hand still. Right now, they can only generate red from Stomping Ground. The Mox Opal is not online. So we'll go after Stomping Ground and pass. So I have a 2-turn clock on board. And pass. Devourer. Go to combat. Attack with World Breaker. Okay, so now if we do this, we can exile Emery, which turns off Amber. Pass. Lethal's now on board. And opponent scoops it up. Dude. Like, once again, I am by no means a traditional control player. I recognize that I categorize Eldrazi ramp as control, but it's like big mana control. It's very different. It's land destruction control. It's a lot more proactive, a lot more just putting bodies on board, right? I don't understand why you wouldn't have consigned the Airgast instead of holding it. Like, maybe someone in the comments can explain it to me, but, like, it just doesn't compute in my head. Like, why wouldn't you counter the Airgast? Maybe for the blowout play, right? Like, that's a big if. Otherwise, it's a 2-turn clock on board. If you counter the Airgast, then I have nothing on board, right? I don't know. Like I said, let me know down in the comments. I'm very curious as the thought process, because it doesn't make sense to me, but, like, control isn't my shtick. At least not in the way of counter spells. Interaction, big mana, stuff like that, land destruction, absolutely. But, like, counter magic, not as much. So I'd be curious to get into the mindset of someone who plays that. If you have an answer, I'd love to hear it. That said, we'll be back for match 2. Alright, and we're back for match 2 on the draw for game 1. This hand is not keepable. This hand is better. We can keep this. Probably want to pitch an Emrakul. Yes. And pass. Sacred Foundry, Shock, Ragavan. Every time! I hate seeing that stupid monkey back again. I was so happy to see Ragavan's play rate go down, and then Amped Raptor got banned and monkey shot right back up. Ugh. I mean, for good reason. Oh, I would have loved that command! Come on, opponent, you're killing me here, mate. Like I've said before, Ragavan always hits the card you want to see. Just without a doubt. Flage? Fable, okay. Now you're making even more treasures? Oh, Jesus. More talismans. Oh, I'll play a talisman. Pass. And pass. I mean, next turn we can play a Chrysalis. It's smacked in the face for 4 at a minimum here. Flasian Yard. Yeah. Kind of would like to see a Soin Mycospot now. Of course, I'm going to say that they're going to find a Soin Mycospot. Rumble. That's not great. You should cast that Rumble. You should cast that Rumble because you're going to fill up your yard for Flage, and I need a Soin Mycospot now, or a Bajuka Bog, or Command even. Command would have been good. You stole my command. Oh, it's Jeskai energy. Okay. And Johnny. Triggers. Malevolent Rumble? I'm waiting for, like, there's no reason for you not to. Mockingbird for Johnny flip. Okay, well, maybe that is a bit better. My opponent did not flip the wrong at Johnny, or rather sacrifice the wrong at Johnny. So good on them. Uh-huh. Well, now short of a K return, I think we're dead. 6. They'll at least get the set. No, they'll go be that 8. Yeah, that's lethal damage. Nothing I could do there. You've for all intent and purpose won on turn 2. Yeah. That's a rough one. And now we need to hope and pray they're not on the whatchamacallit, Molten Rain game plan. Rough. Oh, let's hope we get a bit of a faster hand here. I think Ragavan, and I've mentioned this before, I think before Modern Horizons 3 came out, I talked about how Ragavan was really the, like, linchpin of decks like Murktide. I always would lose against Murktide if Ragavan hit board on turn 1, almost without a doubt. Like, it was almost every time. And I think the same thing can be said here. But on the play, for game 2, I will keep this hand. Lab. Imprint. Talisman. Pass. Pass. Flooded Strand. I'm going to say Static Prism on Impulse. Shock Hollowed Fountain. Guide of Souls. That's fine. You can deal for Guide of Souls. Bajuka Bog's not the card I wanted to see, but it's the card we got. I'll play Wooded Foothills and pass. Hold up the ability to respond. Sacred Foundry, shock a Johnny. Another Guide of Souls. K command. Let me fetch. Forest. Cast K command. Guide of Souls. Do you have a consign? You do. Yes, that resolves. Attack for 1. Chrysalis. Chrysalis is good. Chrysalis. Do I want to shock that in? May have made more sense for me to shock and then tap that rather than the talisman. It would have been 1 less damage, so that's my bad. I'll pass. And now hold up the K command. Steam Vent Shock. Mockingbird, Guide of Souls. Double trigger guide. Yes. This is... Is it fine? I'm going to K command X1. So let's do this. Trigger. Learning my lessons. Resolve. Trigger. Resolve. K command. Rampant Exile. Done. You have another consign. You do. Yes, that resolves. So they could kill Chrysalis. I need an untapped land. That's what I need right now. Untapped land would be really good. Oh shoot, actually. Return Aragast the hand. I could attack in. I'm a little bit scared of discharge, but they could have already discharged it. I'll attack. We emerge. Aragast. Yes. Sanctum. Yes. Emrakul. Emerge. Pass. A Mockingbird and a Plains. Draw. Season Pyro. Well, we can throw a Guide of Souls into Emrakul. At the very least, that's correct. If I play Mockingbird, I can make it so that they have 0 energy, because they'll trigger up to 6. Like, is there a benefit in just draining like that? They'll still have 3 Guide of Souls, so they can still generate more energy next turn. We can Pyro and pitch Mockingbird, but am I really... I guess we could pitch Mockingbird and nothing else. Is it up to 2 or 2? Discard 2, then draw 2. So I don't really feel like that makes sense. Yeah, so I think we just go to combat. Attack with Guide of Souls. Trigger. 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 Yes. 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 Target. You. To blocks. Block. Pass. Yeah, I don't think there's any more damage I could do. Actually. Oh, didn't realize that ringer was still on. You may have Mockingbird enter as a copy of any creature. That's important. Cast Mockingbird. For 0. I will not have it copy. No. Trigger, trigger, sure. Okay, so I should have... Okay, so slight misplay, missequence there. I should have cast Mockingbird, triggered all 3 Guide of Souls, made 6 energy, and then attacked, trigger, trigger, used 2 triggers from Guide of Souls, grow the Mockingbird copy, and that would have been devoid of energy, but at least that way Mockingbird wouldn't have copied anything. So that is a bit of a misplay on my part. So I missequenced there. I did not realize Mockingbird said may, so that is an important little thing to note. We'll pass. The good news is I can grab EE next turn with Karn, and EE for 1 clear the board. Plays the Plains, and then I have Pyro Unknown. So here's Pyro. Pitches Ragavan, draws 2 fresh cards. No Static Prison. K command. I will in that case just hold. Attack with Emrakul. Down to 5. Lethal is now on board. Now we have a way to interact with our board and create blockers if needed. Arena of Glory is a bit scary. Slot Pride is fine. Tempted to take out a Guide of Souls. But I don't think they can gain enough life right now, question mark, for it to matter. They have 1 other card in hand. They'll gain 2 up to 7. They need to get to 12. Or sorry, up to 14. This is fine. Trigger, trigger. Like I said, they need to get to 14 to combat. Does this matter? Trigger 1. Clearly they think it does. The question then remains is why? Cast, exile. Done. Oh, if it's just to consign, then I think I just win, right? 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 5, 11. So that's not enough. So we go to combat. They only have 1 flyer. Attack, That's lethal damage. Okay. Alright. Well, in that case, let's go to game 3. We'll bring back the gemstone, cut the Karn, run it back. On the draw for game 3. It's a bit slow, but it does have return, so I will keep this. And pass. How do you want to sequence our first turn, though? Do you want to go Wooded Foothills or Temple? I think we go Wooded Foothills. If we had a lab, then I think we go Lab Talisman, Ragavan. Rumble. I'll play Wooded Foothills and pass. Put a pause on end step. Actually, there's a world where they play friggin' Blood Moon. I don't think it's correct, but there's a world where it's possible. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that lab would have been nice. That lab would have been nice. Guided Souls resolves. Ocelot Pride. Or a Johnny. Bombardment. Bombardment is fine. I will fetch. Commercial District. Trigger. Rumble's not great right now. Really could use a lab. Put in the graveyard. Yes. Oof. Okay, well, I think we rumble then. Do we go Temple, though? If they are on Molten Rain or Charmaw, Cavern might be better just as bait. Yeah, probably. Play Cavern of Souls. Name Eldrazi. Rumble. And Aragast. Aragast is a thought. So is sowing Mycospawn. So is Sanctum, though, in case they do blow up a land. There's a lot of ifs here. I'll grab the Aragast. And pass, hold up the ability to respond. Next turn we likely just play Temple and either hold up return or cast it based on the board state. Worst case scenario here is an Ajani. Yep. I did say worst case scenario. Because now they can grow a creature past the point of return. Yeah, that lab that Ragavan hit literally was a linchpin. If we had gotten that off the top, we could have cleared the board before this happened. We could have held and cleared the board. I'll just float. Pass. The question is now, what do they grow? The Ragavan or the Guide? Trigger. Yep. And Ragavan. That's less than ideal. It's a Verdant Catacombs. Not the end of the world. Devourer. So now we have to make a choice. The Johnny's Reflexive Trigger will deal 4 damage. We can reduce that by 3, but we still take 3, so we still take 4. However... Oh, we're just dead. Are we just dead? I think we're just dead. No, we can... Okay, we can give ourselves a turn of Writhing Chrysalis, because if I were to K-return here, or in response to the Reflexive Trigger, we'll end up taking 1 from the Reflexive Trigger, but 3 from the Bombardment. I'll get put down to 6, down to 5. They attack me with Ragavan, I'm down to 1, they sack the Ragavan, I'm dead. So return's not an option. Chrysalis will draw the ire of a Johnny. So I think I have to play Chrysalis. I think that is my only option. Does the trigger resolve? They're going to consign the trigger. So now what happens? They can ping the Chrysalis, deal 4, 5, 7 bombardments, lethal. You got it. Yeah, that is lethal damage on board. Let's see if they see the line. If they do, it's the game. Ragavan hit the exact card I needed off the top. Like I say, and I joke all the time, that's always what happens with Ragavan. Mockingbird hits a Guide of Souls. Yep. Yeah, I mean, they just have lethal damage. They can 0 Johnny, deal me 5, trigger, float another guide, or a Cat Warrior token. Yeah. And the GG's. Yeah, my only real recourse was having this K return online just a tad sooner. Down to 4. They float the Cat Warrior token. And regardless of where I block, odd. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Still, regardless of where I block, I die. Yep, you got it. Alright. Well, worst case scenarios happen. That's variance for you. With that said, we'll be back for match 3. Alright, and we're back for match 3 on the draw for game 1. Hand's a bit slow. Yeah, I don't think I can reasonably keep this. It's a turn 3 Mega Spawn, which is not bad. Just not great either. Okay, let me ask this. What makes this hand good? There's not much. A Rumble doesn't do it. We don't have a 7-mana value spell for a lab. We don't have a lab looking for a 7-mana value spell. So yeah, we mulligan this. We can keep this. Dump the Sprawl. Done. Pass. Watery Grave, so maybe Oculus. Pass. That feels like a spell snare. The question is, do we play into it, or it could very well be a Thought Scour or a Consider? Pass. Blue. Thought Scour. Okay. So having the Cavern of Souls will be good here, because we can Sowing Mega Spawn into a Jukabog to cut them off of Oculus as well as Murktide. Cavern of Souls. Eldrazi. Cast a Sowing Myco Spawn. for Bojuka Bog. Alternatively, let me actually think about this for a second. Alternatively, I could grab Eldrazi Temple. Do I care about Bojuka? Do I care about Oculus if I can just exile it next turn with Devour of Destiny? Murktide, same thing? Probably not, right? So maybe the Temple is correct. Because that'll get us to 6. Wooded Foothills to 7. The only thing that would be a little bit awkward would be a Harbinger, right? But then we can play Karn. They would need Force. So I think we do grab the Temple. And then pass. So now if they fetch, Surveil, and get to Oculus, that's fine. We have no qualms of that. Fail a push. And pass. So that's 5. They need a fetch Oculus. Frog. That's fine. Wooded Foothills. Fetch. For a forest. Out of an excess of caution. And pass. Attack. And pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A Temple would get us to Breaker. Otherwise, we cast Karn. Interesting. They could grow past Devourer. They could definitely grow past Mycospawn. I'm tempted to force them to have it, so I'm going to attack with Devourer. I want to see if they take the bait and pitch all 6. I guess 5. They'd only need 5. Let's see if you take bait. No shot. The moment you get down to 1 card in hand, I'm exiling this frog. I don't know why you wouldn't block before doing this. At least blockers would have been declared. In response. Second main, we're casting Karn. And opponent concedes. So Oculus, win for game 1. Yeah, at that point we just grab Tormod's Crypt and clear Graveyard. Got a sideboard. Bring Return, bring in Chrysalis, cut Karn. Run it back. They'll bring in Consign, they'll bring in Harbinger, the works. I could have waited to see if they pitched the last card, but I didn't want, like, since they didn't declare blockers, I didn't want to give them a chance to do so. I, at that point, just wanted to get rid of that, deal 6 damage, guarantee that command resolves. I am shocked, though, that they took that bait. On the draw for game 2. What makes this hand good? Right? Green source, for one. A talisman would make it better, but it would be fragile. So we would have 13 hits off the top between untapped green sources and talismans. 13. That's roughly, what, 25% chance per draw? I've gambled on worse. Island pass. Oh, another land, but not the one we're looking for. We'll pass. There is a world where we do need to return Airgas to the hand in case of an Harbinger being unnerved, so we'll hold the ability to respond. I have lost almost every game to a turn 2 Oculus. If they have Oculus unearthed here, we're SOL. If they have it unearthed, I think we just lose on the spot. We might as well concede at that point, but we'll play it out. But I'm fairly certain that if they unearth here, we lose. The fact they grab the basic tells me they have a Harbinger in hand. But yeah, a turn 2 Oculus is really hard to deal with. You're looking at 7 damage coming your way on turn 3. I mean, there's not much to say about that. That's just rough. Yeah, that and we're not drawing anything that we need to hit. So, I mean, I think this game is over. Because it's what, a 2-turn clock, because 7 damage, and then you have at least additional 9, so almost a turn 2 clock. If they play anything else, it's a turn 2, or not turn 2, a 2-turn clock, so by turn 4 you lose. And I'm going to imagine we see a Harbinger here. Yeah. No. The fact that they grabbed the basic swamp kind of told me that they had the Harbinger. So I was not surprised by that in the slightest. They have 7, 9, 11. We're not dead just yet. But, I mean, we're not exactly alive either. Short of having a Chrysalis turn 2, I think we were going to lose this. Temple, yeah. We're just going to concede out. That was, I think, a culmination of every potential worst-case scenario. Do I think I could have probably kept a better hand? Yeah, arguably. I arguably could have kept a better hand. I will not state otherwise. We'll bring a Karn back in, run it back. On the play for game 3. Mulligan this hand. We can keep this hand. So we will... Let's see. Reveal Devourer, Talisman, Stomping Ground, Sprawl, Pitch the Catacomb seems right. Reveal Devourer, trigger. Chrysalis is really good. 2, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Temple would be good too for the breaker on 3, as long as everything goes correctly. If they have a force, or if they counter anything, we're in trouble. So I'm thinking maybe the Chrysalis is the better play, because it also acts as a pseudo temple. So I think that's correct. Imprint, Talisman, pass. Let's see if you force it. Yep, there's the force. So now we need this Utopia Sprawl to resolve. What did you exile? Froge? Marsh Flats, fetch. For Watergrave, Shock, Thoughtseize. I imagine you take the World Breaker, but there could be an argument for you taking the Sprawl. Yeah, that argument is that that's a good plan, because now we're in trouble. We are in trouble now. Because I physically can't cast anything. Stomping Ground, tapped. I need... What do we need off the top? I need a green source. An untapped green source for the Chrysalis for 1. That would be solid. I should also hold up the ability to respond in case of a Thought Scour into Unearth. Frog is fine. So we need an untapped green source. Return's interesting. Yeah, that's fine. I'll force you to pitch cards or to counter it next turn. It's not great, but we can set up for later turns with it. You know what, though? That was too aggressive. I'm going to regret this entirely if they play Land Harbinger. Yeah, that was way too aggressive in retrospect. Land, fetch, basic Harbinger. Yeah. Yeah. No, as soon as I did it, I realized it was a mistake. I don't think it would have mattered, unfortunately. It would have been... I would have been better off, don't get me wrong. They would have just had the frog as a 2/3, and we at least would have still been online. But I don't think it would have... I don't think it's going to matter, unfortunately. I say that, but I think that's just me coping with the fact that I made a mistake. So I just need to own the fact that I did. Because we draw into a land now, then we're going to kick ourselves. I mean, even a Rumble would have been good to resolve, though. I'm imagining that I have a counter. Yeah, no, I will fully... What the fresh what? Subtlety. That's unexpected. I fully will admit that I cast that return way too aggressively. I should have waited till end step at the very least to see if it would have been worth it to hold for a Harbinger. Like, as soon as I did it, realized it was a bad idea. But unfortunately, I don't think it would have mattered. Because we would have played the Rumble. Yeah, no, that's GG's. Would have played the Rumble. Probably would have been countered. Could have played the Temple, but then they have 2 flying. Lethal still would have been on. Okay. Opponent just flexing and going, it didn't matter. Whatever you had in mind, it didn't matter. Okay, fair is fair. I'll still own up to the mistake, but yeah, no, that's, I don't think there was much I could have done about that. That said, we'll be back for match 4. Alright, and we're back for match 4 on the play for game 1. Looks like they have Orphan Guard, so probably going to be control. This hand is slow, but it's workable. I will keep. We're likely looking at... thinking maybe Stomping Ground's tapped. Maybe go Temple. That way we can... yeah, okay. Either ways, we can't fetch. That much is certain. Malevolent Rumble wouldn't be bad here. Ugin's Lab would be okay. Unfortunate to see the Commercial District. We could also try and ramp with a Talisman. Tis an option. I think I might go Lab, though. Play Temple. Pass. Pass. have it. Elemental? Okay, so it's elemental control. Aether Vial? What? Excuse? What? Fascinating. Do I go Stomping Grounds tapped, or do I go Lab? Lab would allow me to... Okay, so Lab would allow me to go for Command and or Karn. We could always play that next turn. Whereas Stomping Grounds or Windswept Teeth allow me to go into Karn, Chrysalis, etc. So, okay, Windswept Teeth, pass. Put a pause on end step. Aether Vial and Elementals. That's new. Huh. What the fuck? I haven't seen this card used in God knows how long. What did you reveal? Oh, you didn't reveal. Huh. What in the hell am I playing against? Grab a basic? Emrakul. I'm gonna shock and play a Chrysalis. I don't know what I'm playing against, and I'm concerned. Aether Vial for 1? What? Elemental Tribal? Elementals? What is happening? Risen Reef. Fascinating. Horizon Canopy, play Risen Reef. So I think we want Karn for Torpor Orb this turn. I think that would be correct. Voice, okay. Otawara. Fascinating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draw. Sanctum. Ugin Lab. Imprint Emrakul. Karn the Great Creator? Karn resolves. Minus Karn. Yes. For Torpor Orb. Sack. Trigger resolve. Torpor Orb. Solitude. Exiles Chrysalis. And triggers Reef. Yep. We'll pass 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Endurance. You know, like on one hand, the Torpor Orb's good. On the other hand, these evoke elementals are going to pose an issue. Huh. Interesting. We don't have double red for Aragast. I mean, you tackle at Karn. Attack at Karn. Yeah, you have to attack... I guess not all at Karn. Yep, Karn dies. Draw a card. Cavernous Souls on Elemental. And Kahira to hand. Utopia Sprawl. Okay. Sanctum. Sprawl for red. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Trigger. Can I read you? Of course not. Whenever opponents cast a spell during your turn, create a green, yada yada. I'll get rid of voice. Right now it's the only thing doing anything. Aether Vial. Kahira? That's fine. Sanctum trigger for Aragast. Because we could, yes, we should be able to make this work. For, I guess also 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. So we'll go Aragast. And pass. Kahira's out of hand now. I don't think there's anything we can really do here, so we'll just pass. Imagine they play Omnath, so 4 is an option. I think anything over 4 would just be Solitude. Opponent scoops it up. All right. Fascinating. Elemental Tribal. Did not expect to see that. Torpor Orb is good. I think I treat this similar to Black-White Control. And we go cut 2 Karn. Oh, not Black-White Control, but Blink. Cut 2 Karn, 1 Emrakul for return Chrysalis. Actually, I think I'm going to cut an Aragast. I don't like that. Eventually we'll be cutting down to 1 Aragast anyways. On the draw for game 2. Let's see what we got. Put on the play, reveals Kahira. I can keep it. It's a bit of a slower hand, but the returns can definitely pay out, so I'll keep. I will pass. I think we go Windswept Teeth in a commercial district, and ideally we draw into a 7 mana value spell for Ugin's Lab, so we can return on 2. Elemental. Aether Vial, pass. Draw. There's the 7 mana value spell, so we'll go Windswept Teeth, pass. And then put a pause on end step. Cavern of Souls on Elemental. Red. Awakener. Yeah. Fetch. Commercial District. Trigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Might not be a bad idea to have another land here, so I'll keep it on top. Draw. Lab. Trigger. Opponent's thinking. Why? Imprint. Alright. Aether Vial. Trigger. Choose an elemental in your graveyard of toughness less than Thunderkin's Awakener's toughness. Okay, so less than 2. Unless Kahira, then less than 3. Reflecting Pool, Jesus, I haven't seen some of these cards played in so long. Float 2. Do we return now? We can hold. Draw. Rumble. Tempted to play Rumble. Instead, we'll play Wooded Foothills and then pass, holding up return. Aether Vial trigger. Up to 3. Could put Kahira into play. Horizon Canopy. Kahira. And then putting Kahira into play. Yes, that is fine. Tempted to Wooded Foothills. Trigger. Fetch. Forest. 1, 2, 3. Return. Pass. Draw. Temple. I think Chrysalis would be fine here. And pass. Yeah, most elementals are X2, so returns are very strong here. Hold up the ability to respond. Getting Kahira out early is nice. And a bone scoops it up. Alright, solid. Always love to see a tribal deck running around. But we'll be back for match 5. Alright, and we're back for match 5 on the play for game 1. Gemstone is solid. It's a little bit slower than I'd like, but I will keep. So reveal Devourer, play Gemstone, exile Devourer to Gemstone. We're ideally looking for a temple or soul land more accurately. The reveal, play, exile, pass. Flood Strand, pass, trigger. There's a temple. So I will play the, or grab the temple, play the temple and pass. Not sure what we're up against just yet. Flood Strand. Meticulous Archive tapped. Could be energy, could be control. And hold the ability to respond. Plays an island and pass. So feeling more and more like control. Verdant Catacombs. Do we attempt to resolve Talisman? I think we wait. Hold for command. Ooh, could this be Jeskai Dressdown? Interesting. Draws a card. Yep, so looking like Jeskai Dress Down. Uh-huh. I'm in trouble. I will fetch a Verdant, grab a Stomping Ground Shocked. I'm going to cast K Command for X equals 2 Scry Draw, because genuinely, Null Drifter is really scary here. Lab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're still short on exiling the Null Drifter. Oh god. Bottom, top draw, and pass. I'm in danger. Sanctum. Lab. Imprint. We could go Talisman. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Talisman of Impulse. Do you have a force? Doesn't look like it at a glance. Tempted to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will pass. We'll sacrifice a spawn to their Annihilator trigger. Yeah, just Dress Down into Null Drifter is arguably one of the worst things that can probably happen in this matchup to me. Trigger. Sack. No blocks. End step. Attempt to command. X3. Resolves. Karn is not doing much here, unfortunately. Devourer is certainly not doing much, but at least it's a threat on board. Myco Spawn, though, might be enough. Play Sanctum. We should not kick the Myco Spawn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cast the Myco Spawn. Cavernous Souls. Name Eldrazi. Return Aragast the hand. Emerge Aragast. Sacrifice the spawn. Red. Red. Colorless. And colorless. Trigger. Trigger. I will exile my hand. This Devourer is doing very little. Yes. I'll grab an Emrakul. A counterspell royally screws us, but so too does a Solitude. I'll pass. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We can still cast an uncounterable Emrakul next turn. Tune the narrative. Doorkeeper Thrall? Okay. That's fine. Arena of Glory. That's fine. What are you hasting? Opponent. What are you doing? Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Flage trigger targets. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we just need one spawn to survive. Do you send it at me or send it at Airghast is the question. Sending it at me. Sacrifice the spawn. Three at me. Go to blocks. Block Null Drifter, block Flage. Like I said, I just need a spawn to survive. Take 1 down to 9. Draw. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Windswept Teeth. Fetch. Forest. Cast no merge. Emrakul. Pass the turn. Main deck Consign. You gotta be effing joking me. Okay. They can't haste. They can send 3 at me down to 5. We have Emrakul as a blocker. Doorkeeper Thrall's stopping elementals like Solitude from exiling Emrakul. Even if it did, we would gain 13. So maybe attacking if Airghast is correct to apply pressure to the board. But even then, they go down to 14, back up to 17. Lethal's still on board, however. They wouldn't be able to attack the Doorkeeper Thrall. If we resolve Karn, we can EE for 2. And we do have the land. And it'd be really close. Attack with Airghast. And pass. The main deck Consign is just unfortunate. So, dress down. Subtlety. Three. Null Drifter. Yes. Scalding Tarn. Yeah, the tricky part here is this Arena of Glory. So they attack a Flage, push me to 5. Unfortunately, Karn to EE is no longer a valid option because of the Null Drifter. Of course, if they attack in a Flage and we block of Emrakul, we can always try and go Karn into Tormod's Crypt. We can also Worldbreaker the Arena. As long as the Doorkeeper Thrall stays on board. But that means we wouldn't be able to attack. Okay. So with them attacking the Doorkeeper, that's fine. Down to 5, block the Flage. We have to. Return. Return would clear board. Okay. This is interesting now. Because we can play return, emerge Worldbreaker from Aragast for 1. That will consume 4 mana. But then 1, 2, 3, 4. We would have enough for Karn. Oh, jeez. So do we try and cast Karn first? I think we have to try and cast Karn first. One, two, three, 4. One. Oh, that's a little bit tricky then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3. We would need to shock Stomping Grounds, which would put us at 2. Yeah, okay. So if we try and resolve Karn first, that would give us a good inclination of what we have available to us. Attempt to resolve Karn. Does Karn resolve? Karn resolves. I'll minus Karn. For Tormod's Crypt, I'll cast Tormod's Crypt. I'm going to hold Tormod's Crypt. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Let's go to combat. They have to block the Uragast. What? Shock to 14. Okay, so that way... Oh, frick. That's fine-ish. They still have to block. At least no trample. That's their thought. It just means I can no longer Worldbreaker, which is fine. Stomping Grounds tapped. The problem now is a Flage would kill me if they hasten a Flage. So do we go for a return to get rid of Thrall to ensure Flage cannot be played and hasted? A Flage just played wouldn't kill me. I think I go for the return now. Do you have a force? Dress down triggers. Sacked. Tormod's Crypt you and pass, and now we pray. Plays a Plains. Dress down. A hasted Arena of Glory for a Null Drifter. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, we got there. Freaking anxiety building. Yeah, in retrospect, a Null Drifter would have killed me there. That dress down genuinely almost just wrecked me. I don't think return is good here. I don't think Karn's great either, though. But I think we can keep 2 Karn, and then Stonebrain like this is correct. Yeah, that seems right. Okay. That was frightening, I'll tell you what. We could turn to Stonebrain a Null Drifter, because Null Drifter is genuinely the card that I'm most scared of in this matchup. What makes his hand better? A green Source for Sprawl, of course. That gives us still a turn to Stonebrain, also gives us Writhing Chrysalis. I think the hand is keepable. I will keep it. And pass. Archive, tapped, surveil, dress down into yard. Okay. A second lab. Not what I was hoping for, but it's workable. Imprint, Emrakul, play Stonebrain, pass. And pass. Scalding Tarn. And pass. Stomping Ground Shock. Utopia Sprawl. For red. Stonebrain U. Name Null Drifter. The thing is, they may have brought in Charmaz, but I feel like that's a bit of a non-bow, right? Null Drifter. No Charmaz. Two Consign, Counterspell, Doorkeep, and Static Prism. Okay. They have Flage. So what's actually their other main threats here? Flage, and that's it? Seriously? Holy hell. Okay, yeah. Null Drifter is a good hit then. And I will pass. Imagine you flash in the Doorkeeper Thrall. No. What I really need right now is going to be a Cavernous Souls. Because right now we're going to be fighting through these consigns. And pass. Scalding Tarn and pass. Holding up Consign. Yeah, I mean, we play Temple and attempt to resolve Chrysalis. We know that's not going to resolve, but we need to get through these consigns. Consign the memory. Scalding Tarn fetch. Why fetch there? I guess they're worried about the Ugin Lab, what else I could play from underneath. Currently have 6. Consign, yep. And holding up another consign. And I got nothing, so. Chrysalis down. I need to draw into more action. Flooded Strand. Pass. Another temple. Pass. 2, 4, 6, 8. So next turn we could Aragast, Doorkeeper Thrall. A little bit concerned now about a Flage. Hallowed Fountain tapped. Yeah, Flage concerns me. Attack with Thrall. Rumble. Attempt to resolve Rumble. Do you counter it? Yes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I will Bajukabog you. Another Doorkeeper Thrall. Doorkeeper Beatdown online. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're 1 short on the Emrakul. Command. We could use command as a permission spell. Ugin's Lab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Imprint the Aragast and pass. We'll use the command as a permission spell. To combat. Yes. To end step. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. X7. Does this resolve? A counterspell. Okay. 1. Oh, I forgot to return that to hand. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Draw. Another command. Maybe we could rinse repeat it. Just try and keep on using these as permission spells. Scalding Tarn. Once again, they're on the Thrall beatdown. End step. Consigned memory. I'm going to return Aragast to hand. Commercial District, Surveil trigger. Don't need Sprawl right now. So let's see. 4, 6, 7, 8. So I will have to do this. Aragast trigger. Does Aragast resolve? Another consign. Another consign. Pass. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we can cast Emrakul next turn. They have 1 unknown, 2 unknowns in hand. Tune. Land, 1 unknown in hand. Fetch. Casting. Reveal. Tapped out though. Return Emrakul to hand. Play. Emrakul. Pass. Our turn, friend. Double Flage. Alright. Draw. Tune. So we can Static Prison my Utopia Sprawl. Artifacts and creatures. This is an enchantment. 1, 2, 3. I can play Flage, but that doesn't do much. We could play Dress Down. That only draws them a card. They still have the Doorkeeper. So I think we go to main. Cast Static Prison. Pay the white. Static Prison, target Utopia Sprawl. Go to combat. Attack with 1. Go to blocks. I can actually, I do like this. I can Dress Down. That turns off Doorkeeper. No. I was thinking he turns off Doorkeeper, but then still kind of results in the same. So not really any different. Yeah, I think we just pass here. I think that's as much damage as I can do to them. But a pause on end step now. The Flage is concerning. I do need something off the top here. Because the Flage can threaten lethal. That's my biggest concern. Utopia Sprawl on red, and we'll attach it to Commercial District. So they have double Flage, Tune the Narrative, Dress Down. And one unknown. Right now, Flage alone isn't doing too much. There's the tune, so 2 unknown, double Flage, Dress Down. There's Flage. Hollowed Fountain was the unknown. So Flage, Dress Down, Damning Sphere is the last one. Okay. So Flage and Dress Down's what remains. Alright, so I need something off the top here. Fetch of Wooded Foothills down to 8. Stomping Ground tapped. And draw. We'll pass. I cannot attack. That signals to them that I drew into nothing, more likely than not. Flage trigger, target me. I will have to block the Flage. Down to 4. Imagine they play the other Flage. Or even either that or escape it. Yep, escape the Flage. Lethal is now on board. Draw. Gotta be joking me. Drew into nothing but bricks. Which means they attack, hit me for 3, 1, you got it. Concede. Alright, well, on to game 3. I will cut a gemstone, bring back in a Karn, and run it back. On the play for game 3. It's a turn 2 Karn. It's good. Let's see if it's good enough. Ugin Lab. Imprint. Pass. And pass. We just hope that they don't have a consign. Okay, they need a force now. Ugin Lab. Imprint. KGC. Minus. Liquid metal coating. Pass. Flooded Strand. Tells me they have a counter spell. Minus. For If we do Chalice of the Void, they have to counter, because Chalice on 2, no, that wouldn't help me right now. Stonebrain. Stonebrain, target you. Name Null Drifter. They can Flage the Karn next turn. Play Bajuka Bog, target you, and pass. End step, they can play Dress Down, and then Flage next turn. That is a problem. Like, I wonder if maybe naming Dress Down is correct instead of Null Drifter specifically. There's the Dress Down. Pass. Hollowed Fountain, Shock, play Flage. They mistapped. Chrysalis. So I can play Talisman of Impulse. I can play Liquid Metal Coating. I can Liquid Metal Coating your Light Source. Tick up of Karn. And pass. And pass. This Flage might be the end of me. 2, 4, 5, 6. We still have a counter spell in hand. Yikes. 2, 3, 4 KGC. Imagine it eats the counter. Pass. It's gonna be 9 at me. Yeah, if we had named Dress Down instead of Null Drifter, then we'd be in a much better position. It kind of feels like Goryo's in a way. 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you got it. It feels a lot like Goryo's, right? Where is the right move to name Goryo's? Or is the right move to name... is the right move to name one of their threats? Because they have Goryo's Emperor Bones. In the same way Jeskai Dress Down now has Doorkeeper Thrall and Dress Down. Maybe it would have been correct to name Dress Down. Both in game 2, but in game 3 as well. Of course, they already have, like, Doorkeeper Thrall, so I think by that point, then you might as well name threats. Whereas, in this case, naming Dress Down, obviously we're still 50-50 in it. If they had the Doorkeeper Thrall instead of the Dress Down, then Flage would still come online. Regardless, Karn was dying there, right? Because they would have just played the Flage, hit the Karn, yada yada. So maybe it was correct to name Dress Down. I think in retrospect, yeah. As I think about it more, I think you have to play around the Dress Down decks the same way you would Goryo's. And while naming the threats as they really only have two in the way of Flage and Null Drifter is appealing, 50-50 Dress Down or Doorkeeper Thrall's probably better. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is it right to name a threat in this matchup, or is it right to name the enabler? As I think about it, and yes, obviously with perfect knowledge, I recognize that naming Dress Down would have meant that this game 3 would have gone completely differently. But I think in retrospect, as I think about it more and compare it to another matchup in the way of Goryo's, it probably makes more sense to name the enabler. Yeah, that would be my thought at least. Like I said, let me know down in the comments what you guys think, as definitely not a matchup that I am horribly familiar with. Definitely played against it some, but definitely got the better of me here. With that said, as always, if you guys did enjoy this video, please do consider hitting that like button. Comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or general feedback. It is much appreciated. For as much as I hope that you all learn from me in both my successes and my failures, I hope to learn from you all as well. And finally, we are now 9 subscribers away from hitting 500. If you aren't already and have reached this point in the video, it'd be much appreciated if you do subscribe. With that being said, folks, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!